Hello again, everyone. It's Ariel Helwani here on this Wednesday afternoon, being joined by the one and only, the reigning, defending UFC featherweight champion, Alexander the Great Volkanovski. Alex, how are you, my friend?
I'm very good. I'm very good, my man. How are you?
I'm doing really well, and I appreciate you joining me. It's been a minute, as they say here in America, since we last spoke. And of course, we found out last week that you are returning to action on July 11th, UFC 251. Against Max Holloway, co-main event of that card that has 3 title fights on it. There's a lot to talk to you about with regards to the fight, the comeback, this quote-unquote Fight Island situation. But first, let me just ask, what is life like in Australia right now for you? Because my understanding, Australia, New Zealand, it's slowly going back to normal over there. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's definitely getting. The gyms are back opening now. Contact, it's not up to contact yet here in Australia. New Zealand, they got contact there, but we're allowed. Obviously, we've got exemptions to train. We were lucky enough to get our team and behind us to get that done as soon as we knew this fight was happening, which wasn't that long ago. The boys were quicker, and got the job done. I had guys from all around Australia, some of the best fighters in Australia. Within a couple of days, they were at the gym. We're all under this whole process and system that so we can train. But things are definitely getting better over here.
So to be clear, you won't be training for this fight at City Kickboxing. You'll be staying at home.
Yeah, I'll be staying at home because if I still go to New Zealand, I've got to do quarantine and quarantine for 2 weeks. And obviously, this is a pretty short notice fight, and we just could not afford that. You can't afford doing nothing for 2 weeks. So we needed every week we had of training. But I was lucky enough to get a good team around us. Obviously, we've still got Eugene and Brad and the boys over there. Like we do Zoom chats and breaking down the fight and everything. So everything's the same because Joe Lopez, my head coach, is always the one holding pads and doing most of the stuff with me anyway. And we've got the bodies as well. Same schedule. So, just at a different spot.
Who will be cornering you for the fight?
The same team. So Eugene, Brad, my head coach Joe Lopez, and Frank will be over there as well, the wrestling coach. So yeah, we'll have the same team.
Have they explained to you guys how you're going to get there? Because I heard that there's different options on the table, like hub cities, charter flights, or you might be able to fly direct. Do you know how you're actually going to get to Abu Dhabi?
Man, to be honest, right now I'm just focusing on training. I've got the team working on that, the UFC. So I don't exactly know. Right now we want to know, we want to know what temperature it's going to be in the arena or wherever we're fighting. These are things that we need to because the plans might change. Because
Right.
I got told obviously last time it was pretty hot in the arena, and if that's the case, we might need to change some things up, whether we go there early and or even camp, whether we train under heat lights or whatever it is. You know what I mean? We're gonna make some changes. So we're still finding out exactly what's happening. Again, I was only not even maybe 2 weeks ago where I knew I was fighting. So a lot's happening, but I still need to get prepared. But luckily, me, I'm a professional. I work hard. I'm always staying fit, but at the same time, we need to get ready. So we need to get done.
If you find out that it's going to be super hot in there, would you in fact train under heat lights, like
Yeah,
lamps, like those, like what
yeah.
would you put in there?
Yeah, we'll probably get inside heaters. We'll
Wow.
do everything. You know what I mean? We try and do everything we can. You know what I mean? Like all the one percenters. You know what I mean? There's science behind everything, whether it's nutrition, training, and everything. But especially, mate, a temperature change in 2 degrees can make a big difference. So we want to be, we want to be familiar with these things. We have to, even though I'm quick to adapt. I want to adapt nice and early. I want to be used to it. I want to be comfortable. Exactly. Do the hard rounds in the heat early rather than try and get used to it in the arena, fighting for defending your belt. So these little things need to be done if that's going to be the case. But we just need to find out exactly what's happening first.
So the main card locally is going to start at 6 a.m. to accommodate the North American audience. So that means because you're the second to last fight, you're probably going to fight at around 8 a.m. or so locally. How do you feel about that?
I'm fine. I'm okay with that. We actually do everything. Like I said, we do all the everything. We try and be real specific with everything we do. Like we got specific sessions that we train. Like I don't have a day off because my usually my Sunday is my day off, but we train at the same time as as we fight. And usually that's whether it's lunch or in the morning here in Australia, that's when I'll do my hardest workout at that time, just to adapt. So my body is used to moving at that time. So, even when I go to Abu Dhabi, I'm going to be, trying to stick, the sleeping pattern. I'm going to try and stick to what I do here. So I'll be going to sleep reasonably early and waking up pretty early over there as well. So I'm going to try and do that. We'll see how we go. But, everything counts, man. Especially when you're at the highest level, all the everything adds up. You know what I mean? So all these 1%ers do make a big difference. And so again, these are things that need to be done. So no surprises come fight time.
Since you mentioned it a couple times, I'm just wondering, would you have preferred if the fight would have been a little later? Is June 11th a little earlier than you would have hoped?
Uh, Opportunity wise, I think this is a good opportunity. Fighting, being the first card on Fight Island, and obviously a stacked card, 3 title fights, and it's an opportunity I didn't want to miss. You know what I mean? So that was if this was pushed back a couple of weeks and I'm still going to be the first fight, yeah, all right, maybe. But anyone that knows me knows that I can get fight fit within a couple of weeks. So it's, let's be honest, we knew it was going to be Max the whole time. So it's nothing really changes. I know I'm already in the 2 weeks that I've done, I'm already levels up. So and by fight time, I'll be in really good nick. So I'm not worried about that. And again, this is a big opportunity that I didn't want to miss. So again, it's just as you might have seen, I've got something to prove right now. You know what I mean? Like it's just with everything that's happened, obviously these challenging times. People quickly forget. People quickly forget that I went out there and shut Max down. You know what I mean? And no disrespect to the man, but that's what happened. You know what I mean? And I don't know what it is. Yeah, again, people quickly forget, and I don't know what it is, whether it can be biased opinions or whatever it is. And over time, people just people can, like I said, quickly forget. Like they can put things in their head and believe it. So that I believe that's happened. I believe that a lot of people forget that I shut him down. 5 rounds to 0. And me, I'm not the type to brag, but I mean it is what it is. I believe I won all 5 rounds pretty convincingly. And but again, people quickly forget, and I've got something to prove. I need to show everyone that July 11th that I am the best featherweight in the world, and there's going to be no doubt left in anyone's mind as soon as I get the job done. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, it's a big opportunity. Even fighting Max, some people say, does he deserve the rematch? I don't care. This is a fight I want. I need this fight. For me, I need this fight. For my legacy, I need this fight. You know what I mean? For me to really put myself in a good position and let everyone know, this is what needs to be done. This is the fight I want. So there was times where my team were like, what fight should we want? And then I end up saying, I want Max. That's what's going to get thrown at us anyway. Give me Max. Again, I've got something to prove. You know what I mean? Whatever. But I can't wait, man. I'm stoked. I've got a new motivation. It's weird, I mean, I'm using it as fuel. It looks like I'm worrying about what people are saying, but I mean, I'm using that as fuel. I've got this, obviously I fought for my family, but now I've got something to prove as well. So no one's taking that belt away from my kids. I guarantee you that. And not just that, now I've got this new hunger. I've got this new fire in the belly, and I'm like smashing pads, hitting harder than ever. Just hitting numbers on the assault bikes and everything. I'm keen. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do it. You know what I mean? It's good. So I believe the timing is right, purely on that.
And I appreciate the passion. I can feel it coming through the screen here. And I should correct myself. I said June 11th at the beginning of that question. Obviously, it's July 11th in Abu Dhabi. I saw an article about you. You did an interview with ESPN.com in Australia recently, and you mentioned a lot of the things that you just mentioned now. And it seems like you are feeling like disrespected. It's almost like you have this chip on your shoulder. And usually when you're the hunted as opposed to the hunter, you can kind of chill. You're at the top of the mountain. But why does it feel like I'm talking to a contender right now as opposed to the champ? Why are you so riled up? Do you really feel like people have not given you your due since you won that title?
Man, at the end of the day, you're always going to get this. There's always going to be haters. There's always going to be people that doubt, and which I don't mind. I'm all about that. This sport's a crazy sport, man. I knew what I got into when I first come in. So for me, it's not really getting to me. But again, it's giving me motivation. It's giving me, a focus. It's giving me a drive. It's giving me a goal. I got a new goal. Not, last time I needed to win that belt. Right now, it's more than that. Just beating Max isn't enough. I'm going to go out there and show everyone how much better I am. Show everyone just who, the fighter I can beat. I can beat anyone. Give me a full camp. I can beat anyone. I'm better than all the fighters in my division, hands down. But now I'm proving something different. I'm going to go out there and prove something different. And again, there was a little bit of a disrespect, but again, it's just I don't know. Again, like me, I don't usually talk like this, and Max is a cool dude, and everyone loves Max. But at the same time, this whole narrative straight after the fight where he thought he won and the leg kicks weren't working, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's just that's what he believes, and so be it. But him playing that, and then over time, people starting to believe it. I don't know. Again, it's I feel that people can quickly forget, and let's be honest. You don't switch stances for no reason. I know he likes to switch. He done a whole round in southpaw purely because his leg was banged up. And that round that he did, that was my third round. He went southpaw pretty much the whole fight, and that was my biggest round. I picked him apart. You ain't gonna stay there the whole round if your leg ain't hurting, especially when you're getting constantly punched in the face. You know what I mean? So if you look at the numbers, that's where I did most of my numbers and most of my damage. And for him to act like the legs weren't hurting, I believe that's a lot. But look, I could be wrong. You know what I mean? I ain't hating on the man, but at the same time, even just saying like, and they started talking about the judges and things like that, and I was just like, where are they going with this? I mean, I was quite surprised, and then over time you start seeing people literally using the same words that these guys do, and then like again, people quickly forget, and this just drills in their head, and over time we had plenty of time to think about these things, but at the same time, man, that's just the sport, mate. Very unforgiving sport sometimes, but hey, I ain't whinging about it. I knew what it was when I come in. But I'm lucky enough that I got the belt and I get to prove myself. You know what I mean? I get to show everyone, let everyone remember why I'm the best featherweight in the world. And again, Max was a great champion, great fighter, a cool dude. But at the same time, that ain't enough. I'm the man right now, and I'm going to show that July 11th.
So you have a situation where you looked so good in the first fight. The game plan was tremendous. As you said, the leg kicks really worked perfection, made him switch stances. You beat him up. Some people thought that you won all 5 rounds. Will you change anything? And I know you don't want to tip your hand, but like, why would you even consider changing anything? Like, do you think that he'll come and show up to
It's,
be a much different fighter? That was the best Max Holloway we thought we saw back in December. So is it safe to say that we're going to see a similar Alex Volkanovski?
look, man, that's the thing. Like, I don't need to change much, but at the
Right.
same time, this is going to be a different fight. A lot of people, and even Max, their team, I'm sure they're going to see the success in the later rounds, where he did more. And again, this is how quickly people will forget, and people. I know, man. I'm the type of person, me. I'm as real as it gets. I'm just a chilled out Aussie bloke that just tells you how it is, man. That's just me. And let's remember, I broke my hand that fight. A lot of people
Mm.
trying to say he slowed down and whatnot, and I broke my hand. Like, I knew I was up. I knew he was going to get desperate. I broke my hand. Obviously, I need to be a little bit more cautious and pull back a little bit in them later rounds. But I mean, that's where he's seen success. And I know he's going to do a lot more this fight. That's why this fight's going to be a lot more high pace. He's going to take a lot more risks, which I'm telling you, I'm going out there to put hands on him. I'm going out there to hurt him. And again, nothing against the man, but again, I've got something to prove. And that's what's exciting about this fight, because I know he's going to try and do more. So that's playing into my game. That's why this fight's going to be different. Let's Again, you know me. I'm a smart fighter. I'm not going to take stupid risks and you know just risk losing the whole fight. But at the same time, there's going to be a few more risks that need to happen on both ends. And that's why I believe this is going to be a high-paced fight, and I believe I'm finishing him. I really do, and I believe I'm the man that can finish him. But again, that's the goal of mine as well. No, everyone thinks that he can't be finished, so I love it. I love proving people wrong. I've done it in the last few fights, and I'm sure people are gonna disagree with me finishing Max, but that's my goal today. Oh, today, that's my goal. July 11th. I can't wait, man. I'm stoked. As you can see, I've got new fire in the belly,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be good. I can show them. I can show everyone some different tools as well as everyone knows I'm a smart fighter. I've got the fight IQ. I can stick to a game plan. I will do that, but they're going to see some new tools this fight.
Ultimately, the win is most important. But is there a part of you that does feel that you need to finish him to shut everyone up once and for all?
And that would be good. But again, that's my goal anyway, just to
Yeah.
because I know I can do it. I know I can do it. And again, I if he wants to win this fight, he needs to do more, and he knows that as well. So he's just playing into that game as well. Right now, yeah, winning and beating him and outsmarting him and all this isn't enough for me. And I don't think that's the way to go about this fight. And that's why I'm going out there to put some hands on him. And I'm sure he's going to want to do the same. He wants that belt back. But again, I think I'm surprised that the team even wants this fight. Obviously they want that belt back, but I win this fight. I think he's definitely done in the featherweight division. So maybe he just wants one last crack at this featherweight title. If it doesn't happen, he moves up. I don't know what it is, but the belt ain't going anywhere, Ariel. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not a cocky person, you know me, but I'm very confident in my abilities, and that belt's staying here with me in Australia. So I can't wait. I get to prove it. That's the best thing about this.
Yep.
People can say I'm talking, and whatnot, but we are lucky enough that we can go out there and prove it. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm going to do.
When did your hand feel 100%? The hand that you broke in that fight in mid-December. When did it feel like it was back to being normal?
Uh, Probably, would have been a couple of months. Obviously rehab. I was using it reasonably early. I've got a good team around me where we'll doing everything we could, just trying to work things. Obviously, I couldn't use my right arm as much, but we're doing as much as we could to keep the strength in the arms and just everything. So as soon as that bone was ready to be, you know, solid contact, it was ready to go. So I was slowly bringing it up, and probably a couple of months I was back to hitting pads as hard as I wanted and whatnot. But then, obviously had this whole coronavirus thing, so that slowed things down again. But again, it is what it is.
By the way, just curious.
That's Holloway.
Yes, to quote the man himself. Just curious, before they settled on Holloway, did they present you an opportunity to fight Henry Cejudo? Was there anything to that?
No, there was never anything that come to me with that. That was just obviously people talking about it. Hey, I was open to it. I'll be honest with you. When he was the bantamweight champ and the flyweight champ, and he was trying to call for the featherweight, I was like, whatever. You know what I mean? Holding up divisions, I ain't all about that. But as soon as he said he retired and gave up his belts, and then saying he would come out of retirement to fight in featherweight, I look at him now as a featherweight contender, as I've said. So he is no longer in the bantamweight division, no longer in the flyweight division, and he's talking about featherweight division. Now I look at him, all right, you ain't holding up divisions, and you've done some good things. Like, you've got to give credit to Cejudo. You can't knock him back. He's done some incredible things, and to say he wouldn't deserve to shoot for them ranks pretty quickly, that wouldn't be fair. So that's when I was like, oh, you know what? This is an opportunity if the UFC come forward with it. Obviously, we'll look into it, especially when there was either Max, and right now, we didn't have any of the other contenders that put themselves right up there. So we're sort of in a bit of a, who do we fight? It's sort of got to be Max. Where I thought that was probably the next option. But as you've seen, whether they've been fully announced, but the featherweight division, mate, I'm stoked. It's pretty impressive with some of the fights that's happening. All the contenders, all the guys that are right up there are fighting each other. So straight after this fight, there's going to be guys calling for that belt, and everyone's going to be talking about these guys, and whoever it is that's winning, obviously their name's going to be mentioned, and I can't wait. Who's going to be the next challenge? That's I'm looking forward to it. So some exciting fights coming, and again, I've got something to prove July 11th, and then I'm going to have my eye on the rest of the guys. Again, like I told you from day one of once I got that belt, I want to shoot for these contenders. I'm chasing these contenders. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm the champ, but I've got my eye on all the contenders. I'm coming for all of them.
It would appear as though the Cejudo fight, now that he's not tied up, would be a big fight. Is that something that you would even be interested in, or do you think it's unfair if he, jumps the queue and jumps over the likes of Zabit and Zombie and all these guys?
I think if he did have a chance, it was before.
Hmm.
Now that these fights are happening, I don't think that would be fair. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So again, like I ain't the matchmaker, so I don't know. But I just look at it like there's so many fighters that are close, but just not there yet. But that's why all these fights are happening. That's why the matchmakers are making these fights happen, and we're going to have clear number one contenders very soon. So we're going to have a couple of options, I believe. But again, I've got a job to do. I've got something to prove, and this is why I wanted this fight. I wanted this fight with Max for the reasons I've told you, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
You won the belt 6 months ago. Has life dramatically changed for you and your family? Like, you obviously dreamt of being a UFC champion. Is life what you thought it was going to be, or is it relatively the same?
Uh, Look, at home, it's the same. Obviously, I'm dad. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
kids don't care that you've got a UFC belt. They're gonna still wake you up early hours of the morning. They're still not gonna listen to you. You know what I mean? All these things don't change. But obviously, when you're out and about, it is different. It's getting harder to just. Sometimes I'll forget and I'll be like, oh no, yeah, I need to pick up something, and then especially while this coronavirus is happening, and everyone wants to shake your hand and get photos and all that, and you're like, oh man, remember social distancing, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then so I was like, I started being a bit cautious of going out, especially now. I
Yeah.
can't go out because we got all the, especially with these exemptions, like we need to stick to our bubble because we've got that contact training, and I can't afford to just go out and about and be mingling with everyone. So right now I just need to stay behind the scenes in the gym, and I don't have time to do anything anyway because I'm busting my ass in the gym.
New management team, though, right? That's a big change in your life.
Yeah, yeah, new management team. So that's yeah, that's big. It's just just it's something that needed to be done, and it's happened, and you know, it is what it is. I won't get too much into that, but again, we're looking forward. We're looking forward, and things are going good. And again, we got
Okay.
the fight we wanted, and this is a big opportunity. And again, things are going to change once again. Every time you fight, it just things just blow up so much more. And then after this one, Fight Island, such a big card. Taking out one of the goats back to back in his prime. That's saying something. That's no joke, and that's what I plan on doing. And that's setting a statement.
Two last things. When you talk about this exemption, like, did you have to petition the government to allow you to train? What do you mean when you say the exemption?
Yeah, so we had as soon as we got wind of it, I had my team, management team, and that like hit up local guys like that in the government to hit up, and we had like Mark Boris, who's a very successful and like a mentor guy around Australia, is very well known, and he even helped us with it. We got police commissioners on board and health ministers, and we had to write up plans so we could train. It's a
Wow.
process. It is
Wow.
a whole process. We need to do COVID tests every week, and we're doing everything. Like it's a whole process. But the team got that done within a couple of days, and I was lucky enough to have my team, guys like Mark Boris and just even everyone else that got behind us. So the support's been unreal. And then again, even the support of the team, the team that I've got with me now, like the Aussie fighters, I've got like Australian champions, I've got UFC fighters, you know what I mean, and just absolute guns that all right, bang, all stopped everything they're doing to be in camp with me at here in Wingdang. You know what I mean? So it's pretty incredible. So we've got a good team, and again, luckily I've got the boys still throwing their 2 cents in, obviously across the ditch there at New Zealand. So we're doing Zoom chats, so nothing's really changing. Just it's good, man. Feeling good, moving good, ready to roll.
Okay. And lastly, were you a little disappointed when Fight Island wasn't what we all thought it was going to be, that it wasn't going to be on the beach, or do you kind of prefer this, that it's in a controlled environment? I know we talked about the temperature, but fighting on the beach, the sun, the weight, I don't know, it could be a little distracting. Are you disappointed or happy that it's
Look,
it's not what we originally thought?
I never actually thought it was going to be on a beach in the sunlight and all that type of stuff. So that doesn't surprise me. I mean, I've seen some photos of this place. It looks pretty incredible. You know what I mean? But it's still Fight Island to me. So
Okay.
I'm sticking to that. Fight Island. I don't know what you're talking about, mate. Fight Island. Let's do it. 3 title fights on Fight Island. I can't wait. But you know, I mean, it's going to be good. You know, I don't know too much about it. I haven't actually read into it, but every time I get asked, you know, they ask me, you know, were you surprised by it? I probably need to do more research. All I know is it's hot over there, and I just want to make sure there's some air conditioning in this arena that we're fighting in. So I am definitely glad we're not fighting on a beach in the sun.
Yeah. Well, I
I
can't
can tell
wait.
you that.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. I can't wait. July 11th, the return of Alex Volkanovski, his first title defense against the guy he beat to win the title back at UFC 245 in December of this past year. I'm glad to hear that you're doing okay, that your hand is okay, Alex. It's great to see you as always, and I wish you the best in these final few weeks of training and of course on fight night. Thanks as always.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.